Welcome. Today, we're diving into the world of Selenium WebDriver, a cornerstone tool in software testing. If you've ever wondered how testers automate web applications, Selenium is likely the answer. In this video, we'll break down what Selenium is, why it's so popular, and how it fits into the broader landscape of test automation. Whether you're just starting out or looking to brush up on your knowledge, this series will guide you from the basics to more advanced concepts, beginning with an overview of Selenium and its main components. Selenium is a free suite of test tools designed specifically for automating web applications. It's not just one tool, but a collection of four main components: Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Each serves a unique purpose in the testing process. Selenium stands out because it supports popular web browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Opera, and works across multiple operating systems including Windows, Mac, and Linux. Its flexibility and broad compatibility make it a favorite among testers worldwide. One of Selenium's biggest strengths is its support for multiple programming languages. Whether you're comfortable with Java, C#, Python, PHP, JavaScript, or Ruby, you can use Selenium in the language you know best. This flexibility means teams with diverse technical backgrounds can all leverage Selenium for their testing needs. It's a major reason why Selenium has become so widely adopted in the software testing community. Let's start with Selenium IDE, the Integrated Development Environment. This is the simplest tool in the Selenium suite and is perfect for beginners. It works as a browser extension for Firefox and Chrome, allowing you to record and play back your actions on a website. You don't need to know any programming to create basic functional tests. However, it's limited in advanced features like error handling, script reuse, and database testing. For simple test cases, Selenium IDE is a great starting point. While Selenium IDE is user-friendly, it does have its drawbacks. It doesn't support error handling, test script grouping, or database testing. Scripts created with IDE aren't robust or portable, and test execution is slower compared to other Selenium tools. For more complex or advanced test cases, you'll need to use Selenium WebDriver. Think of Selenium IDE as your entry point before moving on to more powerful tools. Next up is Selenium RC, or Remote Control. This was once the main testing framework in the Selenium project. Selenium RC allowed testers to write automation scripts in their preferred programming language, offering cross-browser and cross-platform support. However, it required a more complex setup, including a server and client library, and had architectural limitations. Selenium RC is now deprecated, replaced by more modern solutions like WebDriver. Selenium Grid is a powerful component for running tests in parallel across different machines and browsers. This means you can execute multiple tests at the same time, saving valuable time and increasing efficiency. Selenium Grid is especially useful for large projects where tests need to run on various environments. It's often used alongside Selenium RC or WebDriver to maximize test coverage and speed. Selenium WebDriver was developed to address the limitations of Selenium RC. Its architecture is completely different and much more efficient. Unlike RC, WebDriver communicates directly with the browser, eliminating the need for a separate server process. This direct communication results in faster and more reliable test execution, making WebDriver the preferred choice for modern test automation. Selenium WebDriver is now the most widely used component of the Selenium suite. It supports multiple programming platforms, just like RC, but with a more streamlined and robust architecture. With WebDriver, you only need to know one supported programming language to get started. It's compatible with Java, C, PHP, Python, Perl, and Ruby, making it accessible to a wide range of testers. Over the years, Selenium has evolved through several versions. Selenium 2 marked the merging of WebDriver and RC, bringing together the best features of both. Selenium 3 introduced new improvements and features, while Selenium 4 is the latest release, offering even more enhancements for modern web testing. Staying updated with the latest version ensures you have access to the newest capabilities and best performance. Before using Selenium WebDriver, it's important to understand its architecture. WebDriver isn't a standalone tool. It's made up of several components that work together to run tests. The architecture consists of four main layers: the Selenium Client Library, JSON Wire Protocol, browser drivers, and browsers. Each layer plays a crucial role in executing automated tests efficiently. The first layer in WebDriver's architecture is the Selenium Client Library, also known as language bindings. This layer supports multiple programming languages, including Java, Python, C#, Ruby, and PHP. Developers have created language-specific libraries so you can write your test scripts in the language you're most comfortable with. These libraries provide the API methods needed to interact with browsers through Selenium. The next layer is the JSON wire protocol. This protocol acts as a bridge, transferring data between the client and the browser. It converts Selenium commands into JSON format and uses REST APIs to send these commands over HTTP. This mechanism ensures smooth communication between your test scripts and the browser drivers, making automation possible. Every browser has its own driver, such as Chrome driver for Chrome or Gecko driver for Firefox. These drivers are essential for enabling communication between Selenium and the actual browser. When you run a test, the browser driver receives commands from the client library via the JSON wire protocol and executes them in the browser. It's important to ensure your driver and browser versions are compatible for smooth operation. The final layer in the WebDriver architecture is the browser itself. Selenium WebDriver supports all major browsers, including Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, and Opera. This broad compatibility allows testers to run their scripts across different environments, ensuring their web applications work as expected for all users. When you trigger a test case in Selenium WebDriver, the process begins with your code in the client library. The commands are converted into JSON format using the JSON wire protocol and sent as HTTP requests to the browser driver. The driver then performs the requested actions in the browser. After execution, the results are sent back through the same path, ultimately reporting success, failure, or errors to your development environment. Let's break down the execution process step by step. First, the Selenium client library runs your WebDriver commands and converts them into JSON format. These commands are sent as HTTP requests to the browser driver. The driver's HTTP server receives the requests and performs the actions in the browser. After the actions are completed, the results are sent back through the driver and JSON wire protocol to your client library, where you see the outcome in your IDE. It's crucial to ensure that the versions of your browser and browser driver are compatible. If there's a mismatch, your tests might fail or behave unpredictably. Always check for updates and maintain version alignment between your browser and its corresponding driver to ensure smooth test execution. One interesting aspect of Selenium WebDriver is that the language of your application and the language of your Selenium code don't have to match. For example, your web app might be written in Java, but you can write your Selenium tests in Python, C#, or any supported language. This flexibility allows teams to choose the best tools for their workflow. Selenium WebDriver offers many advantages. It's open source and widely used, supporting multiple operating systems and programming languages. It works with all major browsers and even supports drivers for mobile testing, like an Android driver. WebDriver executes test scripts faster than other tools, and it integrates easily with frameworks and tools for continuous testing and reporting. Selenium WebDriver can be integrated with popular frameworks like Maven and Ant for source code compilation. It also works with Docker and Jenkins for continuous testing, and with TestNG or JUnit for managing test cases and generating reports. This integration capability makes Selenium WebDriver a central part of many automated testing pipelines. Another key benefit of Selenium WebDriver is its support for parallel testing. This means you can run multiple tests at the same time, reducing overall testing time and increasing efficiency. Parallel testing is especially valuable for large projects with many test cases, helping teams deliver quality software faster. Despite its many strengths, Selenium WebDriver does have some limitations. It cannot automate desktop applications, only web applications. You need to know at least one supported programming language to use it effectively, and since it's open source, you may need to rely on community forums for technical support. Selenium WebDriver does not have a built-in reporting feature. To generate test result reports, you'll need to integrate it with plugins like JUnit or TestNG. These tools help you organize your test cases and produce detailed reports, making it easier to track test outcomes and identify issues. Another limitation is that Selenium WebDriver does not always support the newest browsers right away. There can be a lag between a new browser release and the availability of a compatible driver. It's important to stay updated and check compatibility before starting your tests. Recap: Selenium is a suite of tools for automating web application testing. It includes Selenium IDE for beginners, Selenium RC for legacy support, Selenium Grid for parallel testing, and Selenium WebDriver for modern, robust automation. Each component has its strengths and ideal use cases, but WebDriver is the current standard for most testing needs. Selenium's popularity comes from its flexibility, broad compatibility, and active community support. It's free, open source, and integrates with a wide range of tools and frameworks. Whether you're testing a small website or a large-scale web application, Selenium provides the features and reliability you need. If you're ready to start using Selenium WebDriver, the next steps involve installing the necessary software and setting up your environment. You'll need to choose a programming language, install the appropriate client library, and download the browser drivers you plan to use. The process is straightforward, and there are plenty of resources to guide you. Once your environment is set up, you can start writing and running automated tests. WebDriver allows you to interact with web elements, navigate pages, and verify application behavior just like a real user would. This hands-on approach helps ensure your web application works as intended across different browsers and platforms. Selenium has a large, active community of users and contributors. If you run into issues or have questions, there are many forums, documentation resources, and tutorials available online. While there's no official support, the community is a valuable resource for troubleshooting and learning best practices. Selenium WebDriver integrates seamlessly with continuous integration tools like Jenkins. This allows you to automate your testing process, running tests automatically whenever code changes are made. Continuous integration helps catch bugs early and ensures your application remains stable throughout development. For managing test cases and generating reports, Selenium WebDriver works well with tools like TestNG and JUnit. These frameworks help you organize your tests, run them efficiently, and produce detailed reports. This makes it easier to track progress and maintain high-quality test coverage. Selenium WebDriver isn't limited to desktop browsers. It also supports mobile testing through drivers like an Android driver. This means you can automate tests for mobile web applications, ensuring a consistent user experience across devices. One of the standout features of Selenium WebDriver is its speed. Test scripts execute faster compared to other tools, thanks to direct communication with the browser. This efficiency is especially important for large test suites and continuous integration pipelines. Being open source, Selenium WebDriver is free to use and constantly evolving. The open source nature encourages contributions from developers around the world, leading to frequent updates and improvements. This ensures that Selenium stays relevant and up to date with the latest web technologies. When deciding which Selenium component to use, consider your project's needs. For simple, quick tests, Selenium IDE might be enough. For robust, scalable automation, WebDriver is the best choice. Selenium Grid is ideal for parallel testing across multiple environments. Understanding each component's strengths helps you build an effective test strategy. The Selenium project is actively maintained, with new features and improvements released regularly. It's important to stay updated with the latest versions of Selenium and browser drivers to take advantage of new capabilities and maintain compatibility with modern browsers. There are plenty of resources available to help you learn Selenium WebDriver, from official documentation to community tutorials and online courses. Whether you prefer reading, watching videos, or hands-on practice, you'll find materials suited to your learning style. To get the most out of Selenium WebDriver, follow best practices like keeping your tests maintainable, using version control, and integrating with CI/CD pipelines. Write clear, reusable test scripts and regularly review your test coverage to ensure quality and reliability. Like any tool, Selenium WebDriver comes with its challenges. You might encounter issues with browser compatibility, flaky tests, or integration hurdles. The key is to stay patient, leverage community resources, and continuously improve your test automation skills. Selenium continues to evolve, with new features and integrations on the horizon. As web technologies advance, Selenium adapts to meet new testing challenges. Staying engaged with the community and keeping your skills sharp will ensure you're ready for whatever comes next. In this video, we've covered the basics of Selenium WebDriver, its architecture, benefits, and limitations. You now have a solid foundation to start your journey in test automation. In the next part, we'll walk through installing Java and Selenium WebDriver and guide you through your first automated test. This content is based on the work of Sevim Durmaz, a passionate advocate for software testing and automation. With experience in Selenium and a commitment to sharing knowledge, Sevim's guides are a valuable resource for anyone looking to improve their testing skills. We've reached the end of Part 1. In the next section, we'll cover how to install Java and Selenium WebDriver and get hands-on with basic steps to start automating your first web tests. Stay tuned for practical tips and step-by-step guidance. Thanks for joining us on this introduction to Selenium WebDriver. We hope you found it helpful and are excited to continue your journey in test automation. Remember, learning is a continuous process, and with tools like Selenium, you're well equipped to tackle any web testing challenge.